Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to find out what people are talking about on your favorite Reddits. In order to do this, I will be using a tool that's called GummySearch in combination with the InfraNodus AI browser extension that can help me visualize the content of the Reddits I'm interested in and show me what are the main keywords that I used inside and what are the main topics that they're talking about. So first of all, inside GummySearch, it's very easy to create an audience that is based on the Reddits that are relevant to you. So for example, here I have Reddits on SaaS, on AI agents, on indie hacking and building tools. So I want to see what those people who participate in those Reddits are talking about. So I go to the themes in the GummySearch, and then I will choose top content because I want to see the posts that got the most upvotes. And then GummySearch provides me a list of topics, but that is usually quite high level, right? Like I can see they're talking about LLMs and agents and code, but I already know those people will be talking about those stuff. So I want to get to more details. In GummySearch, you can do this if you click on patterns, and then GummySearch will analyze the content of the first 100 posts that have the highest upvote rate, and then show you the main topics that it extracts from it. So that's a little bit more detailed. We can see they're talking about vibe coding, financial success, building AI agents, challenges, and so on. But that is, again, a bit too high level for me. I want to get to the deeper, more nuanced stuff, right? So what I can do here is click on More, Advanced Search UI, and then I launch the InfraNodus browser extension. First, actually, it's better if you scroll until the end, so you have the content of all the posts here on the left that was extracted by GummySearch from all these different communities. So that's really good because you see some of them are from Agents AI, some of them from vibe coding, so it kind of gets the top posts from all of these top communities for you. And then you click reload here, and then you visualize the main topics in these communities, right? So that's great because I can have a clear visual representation of what they're talking about. I see they're talking about AI solutions, project management, code innovation, customer growth, engagement tools. So now I can zoom into every topic to see what it's actually about in more detail. So for example, engagement tools is something I didn't see on GummySearch. I click here and then I zoom in and I can see that they're talking about extensions and market and Chrome. So like Chrome extensions and how maybe you can build something for Chrome. And then if you click on the context, you can actually see the actual posts where people are talking about those stuff, right? So for example, here we see that they're talking about Chrome extension, again, another Chrome extension post. Then we can see some guy is sharing his strategy on how he promoted his extension and so on. So you can actually read through these posts that relate just to this topic, right? To the engagement tools topic here, or you can also click on summary. So I select this topic and I click on summary, and then the InfraNodus AI will summarize the posts that just belong to the engagement tools topics, and it will help me see what they're actually talking about. So that becomes like a really much more in-depth way of jumping into the content that you find relevant. So here you see it's talking about strategies and challenges of user acquisition and product development, particularly for digital tools and Chrome extensions. So you see it summarizing the posts that we mentioned, right? So one key narrative details a Reddit video ad campaign for a Chrome extension, which despite generating a lot of impressions, resulted in a few installs, right? So people are discussing, okay, how can I actually improve this engagement? And here, for instance, this user is talking about that it doesn't matter how many clicks you get, it's more important to find ways to engage people into your tool. So we can see that actually people in those communities are talking about the marketing aspect of how they can promote their apps, and they're having problems with this. So for us, it's an indicator that if we want to participate in this conversation, perhaps we could bring in something interesting if we talk about this stuff. One other advantage is that you can actually remove the topics that you think are too surface level here, right? So for example, I click on AI solutions here, right? And then I say like, okay, I don't want to see this, so I can hide this. InfraNodus will remove all the keywords and ideas that relate to this topic and then recalculate the graph. And then I can see, okay, so the stuff they're really talking about are the customer growth ideas, maybe also work model, project launch, and then you have here also sharing the stories, work model, and so on. So now if I click on customer growth, I can see in a little bit more detail what are the posts where they're talking about customer growth, right? So then I can see that, for instance, Here someone is talking about how they promoted their app with 0 ads. Then here someone is talking about how someone was talking to their customers on Zoom and basically building features based on this. Then another post is talking about how they hang out in support forums and also creating guides for migrating from their tool to another tool. So here we get to the much more detailed information about how they can actually promote their tool and make sure that they have more customers coming in. And so that is pretty cool, because you see, on the surface level, we thought it was quite a technical discussion. But once we got underneath, we realized that they're talking about customer growth and how they can attract more customers. And what's nice is that as you're going through these ideas, you can actually remove them step by step. So for instance, if you go on the conceptual level, you can see that, okay, they're talking about vibe coding a lot, right? So you can select those nodes, remove them from here, see what else pops up, right? For instance, you can see that, okay, maybe they're also like, okay, months ago we're not interested in because it's related to the time aspect. So we're removing the keywords gradually that we don't need, and then we get to more and more details. So for example, here I can see that, okay, they're talking about apps, and maybe what else are they talking about in relation to apps, right? I can see that, for example, customer is an important node here. So maybe customer, app, paying customers. Okay, so here I found a triangle of terms that is quite relevant because those nodes are big and they appear quite often together. And then if I click on the context, I actually see the Reddit posts from all of these different communities that are talking about all this different stuff. So I can see that, okay, someone is talking about how he was trying to kind of like get paying customers and how important it is to get paying customers. Then another post you see is talking about also how people want to try without limits before committing. And then if I unclick, for example, the app and see where else paying customers is actually mentioned, right? I can see that there is another one that someone is saying how Product Hunt has become a graveyard dressed as a celebration. So basically it didn't really work for somebody to post there, and they're analyzing how that works. And also your SaaS, if you're building something, ask yourself how many people have paid money for your solution to exist. So here someone is again highlighting the idea that you need to ask yourself how the people will actually pay for the product that you're using. Will they pay for it, and so on. So they're discussing it a lot. You see, we saw in the first analysis that they want engagement tactics, and in this more detailed analysis on the conceptual level, we're realizing that they're interested to understand what the paying customers would be interested in, and that would be really important, right? So this is kind of like the topics that got a lot of upvotes, and that gives us an understanding of what is the content that those people are interested in, okay? And then we can see that, for instance, a lot of those posts are from side project or agents of AI. So probably if we post something on that topic, we can post it in side project. So here on GummySearch, we can actually filter by side project. So then we only see the posts from that and just validate our understanding, visualize it again. Actually, you need to scroll to load all of them and then reload the content of the page. And then let's see what they're talking about. So app insights. Okay, that's something we're not so interested in. Let's delete it here. Okay, now we get to the deeper topics. So for example, growth strategy again, user launch. So let's look at the growth strategy, what people are saying about growth strategy. Okay, so building product growth start, and then we see in the context here. Okay, so here we're talking about how they're discussing that they're having problems to grow. And with this additional insight we have on the fact that people are looking for engagement tactics, and that they also need to look into how many paying customers they have. Now we understand that, okay, this is how we could come into this community, into the community of side projects, maybe proposing something in relation to how to get your first paying customers and how to get more engagement from them. So that gives us a clear understanding what would be beneficial to this Reddit community. So I hope you find it interesting. You can try it on InfraNodus.com. Just download the extension for free and then use it with your GummySearch panel. I think on GummySearch you can also, by the way, use it for free, or you can pay like a one-off fee and get access to this extended Reddit post search, which I think is pretty useful, because then you can really get to understand the nuances of the content. All right, thank you.